We have a very nice sized group here this week. A lot of super cool people. Had really cool people last week. Coming into a Taita Juanito week next week. What Rythmia is a life advancement center that specializes in this soul merger, in the merger of the soul. And we found out this week was special too because we had our 8,000th guest. 8,000. Our 32,000th ceremonial user experience. 32,000. Over 100,000 data points just on ceremonies. About 400,000 data points. Crazy. We have all this information. What do we do with this information? We have crafted the highest user experience that we can. Not highest because there's still little bits to go and we're going to go there. But what does it mean? Right now, 97.26, the highest number it's ever been. Since inception, that's 972 out of 1,000. Get this life-changing miracle during their stay. And the best part is 92.71. 6 months later, say that this was the week that changed their life. And that miracle is still working in their life. This is a forever thing. We want you to come and experience it. Hi, guys. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're letting traffic build a little bit as I talk about these couple of different things. Yeah. So in talking about this, so that's what we do here. I want to take a 1 minute out and talk about someone else. One of my favorite people, Mitra Paletti. He's a shaman. He's a thought leader. He's my spiritual director. He's the chief spiritual director at Rythmia. He's a brilliant spiritual dude. He's amazing. I've known him for a while, about going on 4 years, and he's the greatest shaman that I know. And an amazing, amazing person. He wrote a book, Insights, Steps to Truth. I ask you to get a copy of this book. It's a beautifully written, wonderfully expressed book from a real teacher. He's a wonderful teacher and a great human. And him and I like to fight. We're like two tigers. He's a wonderful guy. Yeah, so I want to talk to you about, this is Lessons from the Medicine 9. There's only going to be one more, and then we're going to switch the thing. But this is a big one, okay? This is a big one. This is some things the medicine has taught me. The first thing that I really, really, really want to convey today is if you haven't died, you need to. So dying on plant medicine is the real death experience because you believe it's real. If you come out of it and say, oh, this is not real, this is just the medicine, it doesn't have the right effect, yeah? So in saying that, oh my God, I'm dying, or that this is death, it teaches us so many different things. Number one, we see what happens after death, the forgetting of our persona, the business guy, or that I'm Gerry the father, or that, I'm Gerry the Rythmia guy, or whatever I was in the past, forgetting all that and just becoming one with spirit again, and watching yourself pull away from your body, and watching how that process looks, what it looks like. And it's a very, very, very interesting thing. But once we have that process and we know what happens, we know how our spirit leaves us, we know what we hang on to, and we know pretty much what we forget. So here's the thing. The things that we hang on to, the us is always there. It's forever. We are forever there. But our memory and recollection of things, feelings, people, usually last only from the time that we're conceived until the time that we leave the body. Sometimes on plant medicine, you can go back to other lives and you can see other people that have been with you and danced with you in those lives. But the real memory, the real feeling of it happens during this life. So when you know that, it's like having software that gives you access to this experience, but the software expires at the end. So this is how we need to live our lives. We need to live our lives in the fullness of each moment. And when I say the fullness of each moment, to really know that this second that I'm having with you right now will never be replicated. That this second that I'm having with you when you come here will never be replicated. That me looking at Sylvia right now will never be replicated. That this is, and I connect with her soul. This is what life really is. So what's important to us then? Well, everything. So there are people that say, well, once you realize that every second counts, every second is important, every second is this and every second is that, then you would do nothing but be a monk. And I call complete bullshit on that. Because what you're saying then is you're saying that that monk's soul's experience should be yours. And I say no. I say that each one of us has this unique soul experience that's trying to express itself through our life. So then what becomes important? Everything becomes important. Everything. So every taste of food, every kiss of lips, every touch of hair, every look at grass, every look at tree, every look at bloom, every look and involvement in someone else's life, every dance of soul becomes super, super, super important. And when we can look at it like this and know that it's temporal, know that this shit has a begin. My relationship with Tom has a beginning and an end. Fact. My relationship with Larry has a beginning and end. My relationship with Rythmia has a beginning and end. My relationship with all things have a beginning and end, except this with myself that goes on. Now, what you'll find is souls who you've danced with before come back into the dance, and many times in many lives, you will find that. But then what becomes important in this life? I'm going to tell you what. If it's your soul's desire to be a monk, go be a monk. But a lot of us have different soul's desire. Our soul is trying to express itself through our life and to fix things so that it can elevate itself. Our soul is in this process. One of the things that's very important, you say, well, if you have this realization, you will just sit there and you will just be with the universe and be with nature and not affect anything. And I call bullshit on that, because mastery is a big part of this experience. Mastery, to feel like you're good at something, that you used this earth time to hone your skill at something and be a beneficial presence on the planet, a beneficial presence in someone's life, a beneficial presence in our community, a beneficial presence to our children. Boom. Now, a lot of people, there are people that say, okay, once you have this, I'm going to go super spiritual and I'm going to my way through the whole thing. And I say no. Because a lot of this joy comes from things that don't, because you would think, oh, if it's temporal, then what I want to do is I want to get as much pleasure or as much joy or as much this or as much that as I can get out of it. And I say, no, you want to get everything out of it. And part of that everything are things that people don't like to talk about. And I'm going to tell you what they are. Duty, responsibility, commitment. Oh, well, wait, that doesn't sound too like ultra spiritual, but it is. It is the most. So the difference between fulfillment and pleasure are two different things. And what brings us fulfillment? Many times it's the duty. What does duty look like? Duty is getting up at 4 in the morning to change a baby's diaper. Duty is working an extra shift to cover a friend. Duty is doing the right thing in our family. Duty is learning our craft and honing our craft. Commitment is the same thing. These are things people don't like to talk about anymore, because in a society that wants to be given everything, these are talks that shouldn't be discussed. There's people that are walking around that believe the world owes them something. Their country owes them something. Their this owes them something. The land owes them something, and it does not. It does not. And JFK, said it, and he said it. But you can apply it to anything. It's not it's not what my family can do for me. It's what can I do for my family. It's not what my community can do for me. It's what I can do for my community. Boom. These are things. And if you want to feel good about yourself, if you want to feel, when I say feel good about yourself, I don't mean feel pleasure. I mean, if you want to feel fulfillment, you have to get in this mode. This is consumption versus production. This is where I'm going all the time with people. What are the cornerstones of these things? Duty. Why am I going to do it? Because it's the right thing to do. How can you tell if it's the right thing? Because it expresses as a beneficial presence in this group, of this thing, in this company. Is my company a beneficial presence on the planet? Boom. Am I going, and to do that, do I need commitment? You bet your ass you do. Do I need duty? You bet your ass you do. Do you need responsibility? 100% right. If you think you can raise a child to be a beneficial presence on this planet without those things, you're kidding you. Now, are these things hard? Oh my God, are they hard? Is that the beauty in them? Absolutely. Sometimes at Rythmia, I see people on Friday morning, and I know for a fact they're just happy they're alive in that moment. Why? Because the medicine nearly killed them the night before in their mind. So this thing of I survived, how hard it is to raise children. I survived how hard it is to be a good employee or employer. My company won, and it was a 30-year fight, and I survived. Those things are real. And if you can get into the juiciness of that, the juiciness, and people talk about juiciness all the time, the juiciness of a 50-year marriage, the juiciness of a company that took 30 years to be a super success, the juiciness of the hard relationships that I'm forcing to create a group, and this group is going to do something amazing. That's juice. The juiciness of raising a family. That is juice. It's hard. And there are a lot of easier things to do. There's so many easier things to do. But getting back to my thing, when we realize how temporal this is, we realize how short this is, maybe we should just have sex and eat chocolate, which doesn't sound that bad, but has a very short fuse. And not that having sex and eating chocolate shouldn't be a part of it. Everything should be a part of it. But what should be the focus? Well, I'm going to tell you. Is there some beautiful, beautiful, blissful way of living in these things, in duty, responsibility, and commitment? No, there's not. You know why? Duty is fucking hard. Responsibility is super hard, and commitment's even harder. And most of the people who are around you are not going to live by these things. And it makes it hard. But all of the juice, all of the feelings of mastery, all of the feelings of accomplishment, all of the feelings of really counting this fulfillment comes from this piece of it. So if you're a single mother and you think that nobody knows your pain, you're not telling the truth. You know your pain. You know how good you've done it. You know how hard it was. And you know how you came through the other side. Imperfect, but intact. Beautiful. If you're a business owner, you know how hard it was to start that business. You know how frustrating it was, how many times you wanted to quit, but you also know how you stuck to it. And despite any swaying, any outside forces, you towed the line, and now your company, your creation, your skill, your craft is a beneficial presence to all those around you. Boom, you did it. And that's what this is about. Like when I see people who toiled and worked so hard their whole life and seemingly didn't accomplish a lot, but yet are content from the inside out. because of how they raised their family, because of what they did. That's the money shot. That's the miracle. And that's the thing we can all get. So what determines that? Well, we have to be aware. So awareness that this is temporal. Number one, awareness of the thing that I'm doing today affects my outcome 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, 9 years, 30 years, and 90 years from now. What I'm doing today is everything. Now, when I know that, doing it, there's juice in it, there's contentment in it. It keeps me going. So we have to know all these things and keep them present in our mind. And the cherries are this. The cherries are mastery. The cherries are mastery. The cherries are the relationship that goes perfect. The cherries are the business that hits down the park. The cherries are mastery. When I say mastery, I know that there are shamans who work at my place that look at a person and go, you know what? I know exactly what the fuck to do. I know how to do it. And I can do it in my sleep with them. Boom. That's mastery. And what a great feeling. And mastery never, ever, ever, ever shows up without duty, responsibility, and commitment. It can't. It can't. It can't. It can't. So these are the things that might not sell workshops. They might not sell programs. They might not be what in like the talk of our times are the right words. The parlance of our days are the right words. But they are truth. And in this truth is true joy. I'd say now that's a tough one because joy is pleasure in it. But there is it in there. There is joy in this commitment. There is joy. Anybody who's ever gone to graduation and watched parents cry that really, really, really didn't have money to send that kid to school and worked their asses off, and that kid did great. If you tell me that's not joy, I tell you you're lying. It is. And so this medicine in this, and when I say super spiritual, that is super spiritual. Super spiritual is wanting to give up your business because times got hard. But if you give up your business, 500 people are going to go unemployed and and saying, fuck it, no, I'm staying. Not really for me, but for them. That's the thing. That's the beauty. And in the end, who gets the best benefit of that? Me, because I get the joy of knowing the truth of this. I get true contentment of knowing I did the right thing, that I supported the universe, that I was a beneficial presence on the planet. And if you walk with that in mind, so my steps today are creating a beneficial presence on the planet in the future. My steps today are creating a beneficial presence in my relationship in the future. My steps today are creating a beneficial presence in my business in the future. My steps today are creating a beneficial presence in my own life in the future. Then guess what? I can enjoy them right now. Because once I know this is occurring, my countenance changes. The way that I go through life changes. It goes from fear, it goes from fear to success. It goes from scarcity to abundance. It goes from sadness to happiness. Whole different thing. And all that is done here. And then when you're in that mode, the universe comes to you and responds to you in a new and different way. All living organisms have a frequency that you fucking affect. Everything around you. As a matter of fact, if I came in here and yelled at the flowers every day, they would die. They would fucking die. Die quicker than they would die on their own. And if I speak to them kindly, they flourish. Everything I affect everything. And those things around me, whether they know it or not, are judging me. And here's how this goes. Is this organism, is this being going to be a positive or negative influence on my being? And if it's positive, I join. And if it's negative, I get away. It's happening all the time to you. And you can tell by how people are responding to you, Are people wanting to hitch their wagon or run for the hills? Do people want to hitch their wagon or run for the hills? And I'm going to tell you what, if they're hitching your wagon, if they're hitching their wagon, you're on the right road. That's one good way to know. Now, one mistake we all make, and as we get older, or older is a bad one, as we become more aware, we stop doing it. When I say my soul's journey is the right one, and your soul's journey is the wrong one. So in my soul's journey, it might want me to be a businessman, or it might want me to be a guitarist or a violinist or da-da. That's my soul's journey. I can't push that shit on you. Your soul's journey may be to be a world traveler. Your soul's journey may be to do it. But I'm going to tell you what, if you're not being a beneficial presence on the planet, that's probably not the journey of your soul. When you go to consumption, that's always egocentric, which is not a soul deal. It's an ego deal. So like you can be aware. So the thing that I don't want to do, I don't want to say, this is how to do it. This is how to be. I want to say, this is the construct of what feels right. And will give you contentment over the period of time. And that's easiest to find from here. It's the easiest place in the world to find from here. So try to pay, not what happens after here. So in other words, my idea of duty, responsibility, and commitment, and the things that I focus those things on, for some of us it's family, for some of us it's career, for some of us it's sports, and that can be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. You tell me that Michael Jordan wasn't a beneficial presence on the planet, I'll tell you, you never owned a TV. You tell me where this thing is, where is this thing? Wherever I point it, the construct. In other words, if you try to do it without having duty, without having commitment, and without having responsibility, you'll continually fail. And that's usually not from the soul side. That's usually out of consumption, which is the ego side of this thing. And I know that today, usually I'm super positive and da-da-da-da-da-da. I think this is positive. Because there's so many of us out there that are saying, well, I'm just a teacher, or I'm just a wife, or I'm just a husband. I think bullshit. Those things are the highest things, the things where we have duty, responsibility, and commitment, and no fanfare. Nobody's there saying, hey, you're great. You know what? You're just grinding it out and doing it. And I got to tell you, that can be the most beautiful, most fulfilling existence one could ever have. Ever have. Part of the family, you're a beneficial presence in that family, and you're creating a space for children to grow and relationships to expand and da-da-da. That is the shit of the shit. It's good stuff. So what I'm telling you is that, yes, it's temporal. Yes, you got to be really careful where you point this thing, because what you don't want to do, you don't want to point it at consumption. And let's say the average lifespan, I think, is 78 too right now. You don't want to point it at consumption and at 68 realize you were on the wrong path. You don't want to do that. But better at 68 than 75. What I'm saying is this. The idea is to have this awareness now. And from this awareness, practice your craft. Know that this is affecting tomorrow, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 3 years from now, 6 years from now, 30 years from now, 60 years from now. Know that this is the things I'm doing today, and choose wisely and choose from here. Okay, that was a lot today, but I wanted to get that out because I found it hyper important to express to you today. And I want to see you at Rythmia. Why? Because the end is near, super near. And pretty soon we're going to be booked 6 to 8 months in advance. We're already very, very busy and continually getting busier. But get yourself in here and have this happen to you. You know, do yourself a favor. Go read some reviews. Go to TripAdvisor and read some reviews and see what people are saying. Just go see what people are saying and want to be a part of it. And then I'm going to tell you, I have a new mantra for myself about freedom, and about how so I want to just say one other thing here to help the people that might need to hear this today. If you're not both feet in, something is wrong. So what do I mean by that? In my relationship, if I, in my relationship with anything, person, business, job, career, vocation, if I'm not both feet in, I shouldn't be in it. Either the vocation is wrong or either this is out. So what I want to do, here's my two things always anymore from my last two journeys. I want to be free from the opinion of others. Not like this, not like I will show them by not being affected by their opinion, the hell with them. Not that. Merely that their opinion doesn't affect me. Not that I want good or bad to happen to them. None of it. Just being completely free from the opinion of others. And the second thing constantly checking to see if I'm both feet in. Am I both feet in with my relationship with Jeff? Am I both feet in with golf? Am I both feet in with my girlfriend? Am I both feet in with my business? I'm thinking about another business. Am I both feet in with that business? Am I both feet in all things? Am I both feet in over the way I'm running my life? Boom. These are all clues because you cannot have duty, responsibility, and commitment if you're not both feet in. You can't. So these are the things that are so important. These are the things, and I want to tell you, if you're an unsung hero, you're a hero. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you're an unsung hero, if you're the mom that does the right thing, if you're the dad that works the extra shift, if you're the person that practices piano instead of going and doing something, if you're if you're doing the thing that's going to make you a beneficial presence, make the world a better place to live, make your family a better place to be a child, if you're that person, God bless you, stay the course, and I want to get you at Rythmia. So please come and visit us. We love you guys. I can't wait to see you. I'm taking little personal stuff. I'm taking 3 weeks off. I get to see my children the first time in 2 Christmases. And since 2 Christmases, my flesh and blood, the things I love most in life, I get to go on a little vacation with them and see them and touch them and hold them and smell them. And I am full of joy for that one thing. And I'm 10 days away from doing that. And I'm super excited. So that's what's going on with me. I will be back in April. I'll be here between now and the 5th, and I will be back in April, and I will see you here then, and we will celebrate together and be a part of this movement that I call Rythmia together, and we'll be in it together. God bless you, God keep you, God hold you, and I will see you next week.